This interview is brought to you by Verizon. When the Navy and Marine Corps look to securely, effectively modernize their network and voice communications in the continental United States or outside the contiguous United States, Verizon's suite of services, solutions, and contract vehicles are there to help meet mission needs.
Hello from sunny San Diego. My name is Ross John Fortune. I am here at AFCEA West 2025. Joining me today is Kaitie Penry, Director of Emerging Technology and Innovation at the Naval Postgraduate School. Thanks for joining me.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So we're almost a year into the MOU between Naval Postgraduate School and the Defense Innovation Unit. Can you give us an update on how it's going, how things are progressing?
Yeah, to be honest, from my point of view, the MOU has been great. DIU and NPS were doing so much together already, even before I came on board. When I came on board, I actually came from National Security Innovation Network, which is a sister unit of DIU, actually now just all DIU together. So it was really an imperative for me. One of the first things I wanted to accomplish was to get that MOU put in place between NPS and DIU. And so what's really allowed us to do is grow out the programs in three different areas. The first area is this idea of a student fellowship with DIU. So we call it the Mission Partner Program. So students self-elect into the program, and it is a program that we need to mature further, but they're able to go and participate in the CSOs that DIU has. That's a part of their thesis research as well. So they're providing their operational experience and expertise into how the CSO gets written, the down selective companies, the management of then the CSO and the OTA on the back end. And that really helps, I think, DIU give this extra step up of having the warfighter in the room or having more warfighters in the room with them to ensure that the right company is picked for the right problem at the time. But what it gives back to us is the students get that hands-on experience of what it's like to be in an extremely mission-driven innovation organization like DIU, that ideally we are also in the stages of building and developing to further maturement at NPS.
So to that end, how is that not just getting their hands dirty, proverbially dirty in that sense, but what are the sort of skills, and particularly in the case of like leadership and moving forward on the innovation level, how is that sort of working for the students particularly? So
you look at these students, and the majority of our students go on to senior level positions, right? For the Secretary of the Navy that just stepped down was an NPS grad.
Yes, sure.
It's not just Naval students, but also Marine Corps students, Air Force, Army, and our international students. We have several of our international alumni are actually the chiefs of their naval services, which has been really amazing to see grow. So as they go into these leadership positions, part of their role is going to be this acquisition. How do I get the right technology for my team at the right time? And being able to know what's out there through organizations such as DIU. How do I use this process? What are all these different acquisition terms? What are the pathways that are available to me? And being able to expose them to those early on in their career, they're then leveraging them throughout the rest of their career. So their experience grows, and that way when they get to the rank of 06, 07, it's not, oh, what is this DIU thing? How do I take advantage of it? It's, I know people there, I have relationships, I know exactly how this works, I know that maybe I want to do other transaction authority by like a traditional contract, and they're more knowledgeable about how they speak about innovation and acquisition, and able to, I think, really change the culture of what our senior leadership within the DOD writ large can look like in the future.
Yeah, I would say that the culture part of it, I imagine, is critical here, because the old adage of higher education doesn't teach you what to think, but rather how to think and things like that. So can you sort of talk about that when it comes to, obviously, technology evolves so rapidly,
yeah.
You can't teach to the technology necessarily, but how do you lay the groundwork for that sort of innovation, how to think type mindset?
So there's several innovation courses at NPS already that have been ongoing for several years, including our Applied Design and Innovation. Several of our capstone courses integrate human-centered design thinking type principles into them. But what we've also done is, NPS is a research institution, so we have several faculty members who are doing traditional STEM research, both basic and applied. So students are able to team up with those researchers, but then also team up with industry through cooperative research and development agreements. These CRADAs really allow them to see what industry is doing and see what the cutting edge is out there and what the different possibilities of cutting edge means. And so they're able to bring that back into their research and produce their thesis or capstones around, this is a problem set that I had when I was in the fleet, or this is a problem set I know I'm going to experience when I go back out to the fleet, and here's potential solution sets that could help fit that problem.
And more generally, the DOD's needs, how is that coalescing with NPS and building these leaders of tomorrow?
Yeah, so there's several different ways. One way is the students actually bring their own problem set that they've just recently experienced as they're coming from an operational billet and they're going back out to an operational billet. Some of our students, like our Marine Corps students, halfway through their time at NPS, they already know which billet they're going to next, so they're able to interact with those units beforehand, see what problem sets they may be having, and then take that on as their thesis. Same with our NSW students. They're really coming from NSW for about 18 months. They're being given direct problem sets to come work on behalf of NSW that they're ideally looking for a solution for and taking it back out to the fleet. So that's just one. The other one is that we also have our Naval Warfare Studies Institute, which works directly with the fleet and so interacts with different COCOMs and also with the different naval forces throughout the world, really, to figure out what problem sets do they have. Is it something that we can align with students at NPS, or is it something that can be aligned with a professor's research that's already ongoing? And that then also allows us to go out to industry and say, hey, we're working on this problem set. Would you like to be a part of this through a cooperative research and development agreement? The third way is also through the sponsored research that we have at NPS. And so being able to either get money from the Office of Naval Research, from DARPA, even just we have some research money that just recently came in from Indo-PACOM that's directly supporting a project that is near and dear to their heart that we've been given about a 6-month timeline to try and produce a prototype in partnership with an industry partner that's a brand new startup. So it's coming from everywhere and all at once, which is really great for us. It can be a little bit overwhelming as we aren't, I think, fully staffed yet to meet the needs. And so that's really something that we're working towards is we have this really strong demand signal right now and we want to make sure that we're meeting it.
Yeah, so that's I guess we'll end on that conversation, which is how are you meeting that demand and how does the future look for this particular problem set, I guess?
Yeah, so one of the ways we're meeting that demand is trying to put together these interdisciplinary teams. So being able to take someone maybe from the physics department, pair it with someone from our Department of Defense Management, which was previously our business school, which is housed with acquisition experts, and then also bringing in someone from our National Security Affairs Department who's maybe a China expert or a Russia expert or an Iran expert. So being able to look at a problem set, what are the different parts of it that need to be addressed, and form a more holistic interdisciplinary team that's made up of faculty and students, and then ideally, when the time comes, being able to bring in an industry partner or a partner from across the Naval Research and Development Establishment. And that way, you have people who are operating at different TRL levels. They know the different types of tech that's out there. You have the warfighter that's able to bring that operational advantage to the team, and then pushing them forward in a way where the education, the partnerships, and then the technology is able to coalesce and really form that solution that's needed by the warfighter in the end.
Kaitie, thanks so much for doing this with us.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.